Welcome back, guys. We are going to continue from where we left off. So in the last video we built our first website or the web page and we displayed just the hello world, and now we are going to look at other elements in HTML. So let's get started. So first off, let's look at the heading elements. So for the heading elements, there is the h1 tag straight down to h6 tag. So h1, so heading 1. So the h1 is the biggest of all the heading tags. Then it gets smaller as the number increases and it's up to h6. So let me just, okay. And these tags are used for the headings of your pages. So now I'm going to save it and you see how it displays in the websites window. So then you refresh the website. So this is how it shows, from heading 1 being the largest to heading 2, heading 3, right down to heading 6. So you use them depending on the importance. So for very important headings, you use the biggest one, that is the heading 1, and you go down as the importance reduces. Okay, so next we look at the paragraph tag, which we've already seen. The p tag. So you could write a simple paragraph. So this, we know that you display a simple paragraph text. Okay, let me add something. Alright, then below that I'll copy this and we look at some inline elements. So inline elements goes inside other elements. So for the p tag is a block element, so it can't go inside another element unless it's an element that has to wrap around it, for example the body or the HTML. So let's look at the inline elements. For the first one, you take a look at the strike through or the del tag. So what this does is it strikes through your line of text. So let me just write maybe strike through me. Let's refresh and see. So for the del tag, this is what it displays. But there are similar tags that does the same thing, and one of them is the S tag. So let's replace the del with an S. And it does the same thing. And now to the next tag, let's look at the sub text, the sub tag. Okay, so let's bring this down. Let's copy this. So the subtext makes the text small and appear below the normal text like a subscript. So it's actually a subscript. So the name of the tag is sub. And we could do something like this. And let's type a chemical compound, so like H2O, right? So let's save this and see what we get. Okay, so this is it, H2O. If you want to get something like this, you use the sub tag to get the text small and appearing below the normal text. So the opposite of this is the superscript. So let's see how that one will be. So instead of the sub, you make it sup, S-U-P, right? And for this, let's make it 10 raised to the power 2. Okay, or 10 raised to the power 5. So let's save it and refresh. This is how it gets. This is how it appears with the superscript or the sup tag. So the next tag we'll be looking at is the bold tag or the B tag. Okay, so let's copy this text again. Or let's just type it. Then for the bold tag, it's just the B. Then let's type a boldened text. Right? So we close the B tag, then we close the P tag as well. So let's save it. Okay, so this is how it appears. Let me place a normal text below it so that you see how it appears as well. So let me remove the B tag and save it. Control S to save and refresh. Okay, so for the one on top is boldened and the one below is not boldened. Now let's look at how we could italicize the text. So for that we use the I tag, the italics tag. So slanted, slanted text. Right. And close that, then close the p tag as well. Then Control S to see it, then refresh. Okay. So I'm doing some italicized text right here. So that's the I tag. And there's also the EM tag or the emphasis tag that does the same effect. So let's copy this and bring it down below. So replace the I with EM emphasis tag. Let me see. And refresh, then we get the same effect. Okay. So the next tag is not an inline element. It's actually a block element. And so you can use these tags for basic text formatting. So now let's look at the list. If you want to make a list of elements, you could use either the unordered list or the ordered list. So let's see how we could do that. So I want to remove this by commenting it out. So with a comment, you could do this, the less than angle bracket, the exclamation mark, then dash dash, and you come below, and you also do dash dash, then greater than sign. Let's see. Oh, okay. So what the comment does is, if you place elements between the comments tag, it's not rendered by the web page. So if you place elements between the comments tag, it's not rendered by the web page. Right. So the next element is the unordered list. And this used to make a list that has no order. So let's see how this looks without saying much. Unordered list. Let's say you want to make a shopping list of things you want to buy. So for example, you want to go and buy some fruits. So apple, orange. Let's get like 3 more fruits. Lemon. Then watermelon. Then mango. Okay. So just remind you, this will not appear if we save, because it's inside the comments tag. So only this side will show. So let's save it and refresh. So this is how the list appears. So let me make heading. So for example, let's use maybe H3 to make a heading. Let me increase the size of this in case you can't see clearly. Right? Okay. So my fruits shopping lists. So these are my fruit shopping lists, and this is how it will appear. So this is an unordered list. So let's look at an ordered list. Okay, so let's look at ordered lists. For the ordered list, it lists out a given list of items with numbers beside it. So let's write how to fry an egg. Because this I know how to do, so how to fry an egg. Okay, let's not copy, let me just type it out. So for the order list, we use the OL tag. Inclusive with the same OL tag. OL. So the same way we place the LI tag for the list. Let me copy this. So first of all, what do? Get your egg. Now what next? Crack open into a bowl. And what next? Add salt to egg. And whisk it. Then place frying pan on fire. Fire. Then add oil to pan. Then fry egg in pan. Okay. So save it and let's see how it displays. Okay, so these are ordered steps to take to fry an egg. As you can see, that the order can be placed anyhow, like the first list. For this list, it can be placed anyhow, so that doesn't require any numbers. But for this one, it has to be numbered, so you follow from 1 to 2, 3 to 4, then so on. Okay. Now let's look at how to add an image. So with this, you use the img tag, and this it does not have a closing tag. Now let's look at the image tag to add an image. Now this does not have a closing tag, it just has an opening tag. So it goes like this: img, and that's it. But to specify the image, you need to add what is called an attribute. So attributes adds more meaning to your element. Okay, so the image takes in an src, or the source attribute, and inside quotation marks you specify the location of your image. So for this example, I created a file and placed my website inside, and also placed the image file inside. So let me show you how to do this. On your desktop, create a file. I created my first web page file. Okay, then get an image. So this is my image, right? So get this image or any other image you want, then place in the image and the website file inside. So once you are done, go back and type this dot slash and the name of your file. So for mine, it's called nelly.jpg. If you don't do this right, the image will not show. So let me explain what's going on at the top here. So the dot signifies your current location. So our current location is here, this folder, inside this folder. Then together with this folder, we have our web file, which is this, right? Okay, so because they are in the same file, or the same folder, sorry, so you do it dot slash nelly.jpg, because my file name is Nelly. So this will actually show the image, and I also want to specify the length and height of the image. So width, the width should be equal to 300 pixels. Then the height should be equal to 120 pixels. So these are also attributes that the image tag can take. That is the width and the height. Okay, so now let's see if our image will display. So let's save it and refresh. So here's our image of our dog. So if you don't do this right, you are going to get something like this. For example, if I made a spelling mistake here and I refresh, you see an image icon with a box signifying that there's supposed to be an image here, but I didn't do it right to display it. So you need to get it right in order to show it. So let's do the right thing here and add the L, save, and refresh. Okay. Now I want to comment out the ones we've done so far, so we could look at our next tag. So here's the beginning of our comment, and here's the end. So let's cut this out and bring it down. Okay, let's just make the image show. So to end it right below the ordered list. So save and refresh. So only the image is showing now. So our next element will come below. Okay, so now I want us to style our HTML elements a bit using inline styling in CSS. I know we've not yet got to CSS, but I want us to do a bit of styling. So to do that, let's use our p tag and write something in it. Hello, and a line of text, right? Okay, so now let's save it and see. So we have our text here. So what do we want to do? Let's try and change the color of this text to red. Do some simple styling, why not? So style, and you do equal, you write style first. So this is also an attribute, and attributes, like I said, is written inside the opening tag of the element. So once you write the attribute, then you bring an equal to quotation mark, and for the style, you write the style that you want. So you want to change the color of the text. So to change the color of the text, you simply write color. So C-O-L-O-R, not L-O-U-R, but L-O-R. Then you make it red, and you bring our semicolon. So the name of the attribute, that is color, colon, the actual color, that is red, and semicolon. And you save this, then let's see what we have now. So our text is red now. So for the color, it could even be it's not all colors that you could have the words. You could have it in words. So for example, pink, it will give you pink. Blue, it will give you blue. And sometimes you have to get the hex value. So sometimes you could get a value like this. So hash maybe ff 1 1 ff. So let's see what we get. Okay, so it looks like a pink. That's a random value I picked here. So it looks like a pink color, like a hot pink. But yeah, you could specify the color like this as well. So if you know the value you are given, then you could just specify it, then give the color of the text as you wish. So yeah, that's just another way of specifying the color. There's another way, but we look at it as we move along. So let's make it red back again. Then we can also change the background color to like, so background color. So we can make this blue like that. Save and refresh. Okay, I think I made it. Spelling mistake. Refresh, yes. And now the background color of our text is blue. It looks very nice, doesn't it? Yeah. So I would like us to go much into the styles, so we just leave it here and go to look at our next element. Okay, so our next element will be the table element or the table tag. So let me leave this on the screen, sorry. And let's take the image out. Let's cut it and copy it on top. I don't want to delete the image, the code, so that you can look back to it if you want to. And let's bring this up a bit. You need the text on the screen. Yeah. Save and refresh. Okay. So let's continue with our next element. That will be the table tag. So this was an opening and closing tag. That's the opening tag and the closing tag. Then with this is a bit confusing, but you specify the row and the columns. So for the row, you have the tr tag, that's the table row tag. This also has the opening and closing tag. So let me just copy this and paste. Okay. Okay, so over here we have 4 rows. First row, second row, third row, fourth row. Let me add last one. So this will be the 5th row. So 5 rows. Then we need our columns. So the very first one will be the column with the heading in it. So for the column heading, we use the th tag, the table heading tag. Also has the opening and closing tag. So we can write maybe name or position, right? Then for the second heading, same th tag. The position, they write name for the next one. Then subject, right? Then another th tag, grade, right? Th. Okay, So for the first row, we have the table heading, we have the position, the name, the subject, and the grade. So in the next column, we write the values. So please pay attention to this, because here we don't write th, you write td. I think this means the table definition. So these are like the columns, the column values. So for the position, let me write 1 for first. You could use the superscript to make it first, right? I hope you still remember this. Then you need 3 more columns for the headings. So let me just copy it like this. So this is going to be the name, Yoshi. Then the subject is going to be mathematics, and the grade, well, let's make it the mark or score. So we make the score to be 75%. Okay. So we don't need this. And let's indent. So tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And again, press tab. You can press the space bar as well. Okay. So we're done with our first row. And let's repeat for the other rows. We could just copy it and we change the values. We go like this, tap, like that, and paste. Tap, tap. So this person will be second ND, and let's make this PC. Same mathematics, and the score will be 57. Yeah. So the next person. So that's for our third row. Let me quickly do this one also. Third. Yeah. Let's make it 66%. And the last row, this will be the fourth person. I can't make it 66 because it has to be lower. So 55. And make it 50 fourth. Kwame. And obviously no one failed because math is so easy. Okay, so we are done. I hope you guys have also done the same thing if you are following along coding with me. So save it and refresh. So this is what we get. So the position, first, second, third, fourth, the names, and the subjects. We could also define a border to make this very clear. So with that, we need to use some internal styling. Mind you, this is not inline styling, but this is internal styling. So we go in here in the head tag. Don't worry too much about this because we cover styling when we start CSS. So just Just watch me as I style the table tag. Okay, so go like this. So first off, you need to style the table. Table heading. Excuse me. Table definition. Table rule. Then you specify the styles. So border collapse. Now first of all, the border 1 pixel solid black. Then border collapse. Then padding. We make the padding 10 pixel. Like I said, don't worry about these things. We look at them when we start CSS. So save. So this is a nicer looking table, and we can easily see first Yoshi, same subjects, maths, and the score. You can see the score clearly, and it looks nice, beautiful. Okay, so now we can look at our next element. I hope this didn't confuse you too much, but yeah, we continue. The code is here. You could pause it and take a look at it and study a bit more. Or you just continue the next element and you just comment this out. Comment both the styled p tag and the table out as well. Okay. So comment this out, save, and refresh. So now we have a blank page again. So let's hit some enter and move up like that and get some more space. Okay, so the next tag we look at is a form tag, and this is used for taking inputs from the users, so like a form. So you use this normally when you're placing in your login credentials, like your username, password, and stuff. So let's look at this. So form. This also has the opening and closing tab. Okay. So having this alone does nothing. Doesn't show anything on the screen. So for the form tag, there are other things you have to do. So you need the inputs tag. And the inputs tag is a self-closing tag. That means it doesn't have a closing tag. It just has opening. So like that. This is an inputs tag. So if you save this and refresh, you get a text box and you can type inside. Right? Good. So what else is there? Okay. So for the inputs tag, there is the attribute type. So for the default, the type is text. So if I save this and refresh, it shows the same thing. Okay. There is also the label. The label tag. And let's wrap this around the inputs tag. So we close it here. Then we indent. Then for this, You can use a p tag inside. And write text input. So if we see, so yeah. So what I did is this. I created a label tag and placed a p tag with text input in it. This means that these two are together. So if I want to type inside the text box and I just press on the text input text, it focuses on the text box or the input box, right? So you could just look outside, press on the text input and just start typing. Okay. Sorry. So let's paste this here. And there is also password. So for this, let's write password text input, right? So save, refresh. So for the password, if you type, you don't get to see what you type. It's hidden, just like the normal password inputs. Normally when you're filling out your login credentials, and when you get to the password, you don't get to see what's written. So this is how to do this. So you change the type to password and you get this effect. Okay. So now paste again, copy and paste again, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, copy and paste. Then the next one is, what is there? Email. So email inputs. So for this, it requires you to type an email. So for the email, you should have a 3 section, a text before the at. Sorry, it has to have 3 sections, a text before the at symbol, a text after the at, a dot separating that, then the comma or another text after the full stop or the dot. So it has to be in this format. So I could place a required in here. You can make it like this, required. Save it. And let's add another thing. I want to show you guys something. So input type. So to submit the form, you need a submit button, right? So for the email input, I place the required beside it. That means before I submit, HTML will make sure that I've placed in an email inside it. So if I've not placed in an email, it's going to bring in an error saying that I didn't put any email inside. So that's what the required does. So let's try and submit it and see. Fill this out. Okay, it says fill it out. So let me just fill it out. Yoshi at. Let me just put some Yahoo. So this is not a complete email. So let's see what I get. Okay. I was actually thinking I was going to get an error that would say it's not an email, but I'm not getting that, but it's fine. Let's make this big. And for the required, you could just leave whatever that is after the required out, and it will still work the same. So with this, if you are submitting the form, you require it to type or fill this out. So without filling this, you will never send or submit your form information. You keep alerting you to fill this out every time you submit without completing it. Okay. So let's look at the other input types. So you copy and paste. Let's take out the submits for now. And let's look at radio buttons. So for radio buttons, you can type radio for the type. And let's see what we get. Okay, so this is a radio button. It wouldn't make sense to just have one radio button, so let's add more. So you add like Control C, copy, and paste again. So let's put some heading here. Sorry, an H4, and this will be our heading for the radio tag. And this heading will be how tall I am. So let's save it. How tall I am. So for the first radio button, let's write very tall. Let's reduce this size a bit. I hope you guys can still see. So for the very first one, I'll write very tall. Then I'll write normal height. Then for the next one, I write very short or short. And let's make this tall. Right? We save, refresh. Okay. So if you look here, we have how tall I am. So below that, we have 3 radio buttons. Let's try and select it. You could select tall, normal height, and short. But it wouldn't make sense to be tall and to be normal height and short at the same time. It should just allow you to select one of these. So let's add another attribute to help us select just one among these. So that will be the name attribute. So for these 3 radio buttons, if you give them the same name attribute, you allow it to just select one radio button. So let's see that. So for the first one, for the name, let's type height. Alright, so let's copy this, paste, and paste here as well. As you can see, I'm pasting inside the input tag. Right, these are attributes of the input tag. Right, okay. Then we save, then refresh again, and let's see. It doesn't check any of these, so let's make it in such a way that it checks the tall. So if you want to do that, then you place in checked, the checked attributes. You could do this or like this, checked. right? They both work, so I prefer just writing check rather than writing it twice. So check, right? So let's say if you are tall, or let's say you are not tall, but the tall has been checked, so you need to check a different height for yourself. So normal height, you see, once I click, it takes away the check from the tall to the normal height, and if you click on short, it does the same thing. So it allows you to select just one thing. Nice. So this is what the name does. So if you give it the same name, you categorize it under the same heading. It allows you to just select one thing from those radio buttons given. Okay. So let's copy this. And come down a bit. Then for the next input type, the heading will be my favorite food, right? Or the food that I like. Well, let's make it my favorite food, right? So let's make this pizza, and the second one will be pasta, and the third one will be maybe jollof. Okay, so this time around the type wouldn't be radio anymore. So now the type is going to be checkbox. Okay. So let me refresh this, and we have a text box now. See the difference between the text box and the radio buttons. And for this, unlike the radio button, you can select multiple elements. So you can have, for this, my favorite food, there is pizza, pasta, and jollof. So you can select all of them. Mind you, they all have the same value for the name, but you still can select all of them. And you can select none as well. So that's the difference between the radio button and the text box. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at another element. Let's reduce this size a bit, like this. Then inside the form tag, let's go to the top. Then we add field set. Then you go down and close it right at where the form closing tag is. So same thing, field set. And you go up again, and we add a legend tag. Legend. So let's close this tag and write my first form. And save it and refresh. Okay, so what this does is it draws a line around your form. That's the field set. And the legend, what the legend does is it adds the title of your form, right? So if you think the title is not bold enough, then you could add the bold tag. To make it bold. Okay. So that's the field set in the legend. So now let me take out, or instead of, okay, I would like to take out these two, the text box and the radio button. Okay. So let me comment them out here. So like I said, the comment is done like this. The less than sign, exclamation mark, then 2 dashes. Then that's how to begin the comment. Then you go down to where you want to end the comment. Because if you don't end it, every other text below it is commented. So you have to end it. So dash dash and the greater than angle brackets. Then you save. Now the text, the checkbox and the radio button should go away. So it's gone. Just to clear some space. Okay, so now that we got some enough space, let's add some more input elements or input types, different input types. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it here. So like I said, if you want a submit button, the type should be submit, right? Good. So you save it, then you refresh, then you have it submit. Okay, let's make the submit button. So the submit button is right here. So this is how to create it. Input type submit. Okay. Then maybe you want to display another value here. Instead of writing submit, you want to write maybe send. So you could just specify the value using the value attribute. So you could type send whatever you want in here. And you get that, right? Okay. So let's go back to the input text and let's do something inside. There is a placeholder you could specify. So let me write, type in your text. So for the placeholder, what it does is that it writes what you need to do inside the text box inside. And once you select the text box and you start to type, it disappears and it comes back when the text box is empty. I'm sure you've seen this in login forms and other forms. So this is how to do it. It's called a placeholder. So this is the attributes type or the value. And this is for the input tag only. So write placeholder equal to the name of the text you want, or the text you want to display inside the text box. Here. And let's look at other input type values. There is also date as well. This will be the last time we look at for the input type value. So date inputs. So for the date input, you can input the day, month, and the year. So with this, it shows a calendar beside it. So when you press on it, it displays this calendar pop-up. So you could select any date you want. You could just go down, you just select your date of birth, any date you want. So this is a random date I selected, and it gets it for you. You can just send it and does it. So that's the date input type value. Okay. Okay, so before we go on to the next element, I think I left out one input type I would like to cover, which is the number. So let's quickly check that. Okay, so right below the date input tag, copy this and paste it. So number input. In the type you write number. Let's remove the required. Okay, let's save and let's see what we get. Okay, so in this input form or this input, it allows you to enter only numbers. So it can allow you to enter positive and negative numbers as well. I think you can specify the maximum value. So let's say, and the minimum value too. So min equal to 0. So let's say if I do this and save, refresh, it could increase, but it can't go below 0 because you set the minimum value to 0 here. And also you can do the same for max. So for the max, you could make it maybe 10. We save, and let's see. We can't go beyond 10, and you can't go below 0. So that's the number input. Now let's look at the next element, which is the anchor element. So let me just comment out a few of these. Okay, to create some space. I wouldn't want to delete it. Let me just comment them out. Okay, now we've got some enough space below, so let's look at the anchor element. Okay, so for the anchor element, the tag is just an A. It's just an A tag, and it has a closing tag as well. And what this tag does is that it links your page or your web page to another website or to another section of your web page. So let's see how this works. So inside the anchor elements, let me bring a p tag that says take me to Yoshi's YouTube page, right? Now this is just an ordinary p tag, so obviously it will just show this simple text. So let's save it and let's see what we get. And I think our text is very close to the form, so I want to push it down a little bit so we can use the BR tag. The break tag. So this pushes down our text. We could add a bit more. Okay. You could even add a line. With a horizontal line tag or the HR tag, horizontal tag. Like this. And there's our line. Okay. Let me add some more BR tags after the line to give us some space. So what I want to do now is, on this text, take me to Yoshi's YouTube page. I want us to be able to click on Yoshi's YouTube page and take us to my YouTube page. So let's do that. So with this, you use the anchor tag or the A tag. So you wrap around the text that you want to make it a hyperlink. So the hyperlink is a link that links your website to another website. And this is how to create that. So once you wrap with the anchor tag, then you type in an href attribute which references another website to your website. So over here you need to type in the website. So let's begin by typing www. Okay, http://www.youtube.com. Now let's see. Okay. Now if you click here, it's supposed to take us to youtube.com. Okay, so now since we are done, we can click on it and it will take us straight to YouTube. And it's working. It took us to YouTube, but we are not connected to the internet, so it doesn't display the other pages or the items that it's supposed to display. But clearly we can see that it's working. So let's just go back. And this is the anchor tag. So this brings us to the end of this video, and in the next video we'll be looking at building another website using what we've learned.